Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, wherever you are. Thank you for hanging out with us here today. We'll go ahead and turn this nonsense down. Market's just closing up, finishing up. I appreciate all of you hanging out with me here today. My name is Michael, but you knew that because you are a connoisseur of guru-like individuals with superior intellect, and you recognize a superior brain when you come across one. And so it's only natural that you remember me as I stand out in the intellectual field as an innovator. Hello, everybody. It's good to see you here. Welcome. Dave, you all set? Looks like you're in there. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Well, everyone here, just another great trading week. It's so great to have you here today. I hope you've been following along with our predictive signals. We are the only company. We are weird. We believe markets are predictive. We believe that banks and institutions know when stuff's going to happen before it happens. Things like SVG are no surprise. All of these people, Yellen and Powell and Diamond and all these banks, and it's a very, 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 very small club. And we believe that it's possible to know a lot of times in the future what's likely to happen because these people are lazy. They leave behavior patterns behind them, like dirty socks and underwear on the bedroom floor, things that electronically appear when we look for them. And so we're going to look at some examples here today and go through them. Can anyone comment on my audio? Ron's saying that it's coming in and out. Is it constant or coming in and out? Good, thank you. So we look at the historical data and we look for patterns. Imagine, if you will, that the price of oil goes down 2 weeks every day at 10 o'clock. As soon as the second hand hits 12, 10 o'clock, 0000, imagine for 2 weeks in a row, the price of oil falls $1, $1,000 per contract. You would notice that. You would be aware of it, but you don't see these patterns because it's not that constant or obvious. And so when you look at something with our human eyes, it's hidden information. It's buried. It looks chaotic. And only when we apply the right tool to the chaotic data can we find the patterns. So, for example, if we reference a market here, hypothetically, our human eye doesn't see patterns. But now, in the modern world, surrounded, it seems every minute a new artificial intelligence emerges. This program is not artificially intelligent, but it's pretty smart. It can look at that data and tell us when there are times that are pushing prices higher or lower more often than not. Patterns in chaos. The software finds them. And so after nearly 15 years of doing this, working with traders from all over the world, little accounts, huge accounts, millionaires, and micro knots, we don't believe markets are random. We don't think they're conquerable with moving averages and JMAs and EMAs and LMNOPs and zero lag this or that. They're not conquerable with SNR and pivots and all these things gurus would have us believe are our saving graces. So how do we prove to you that this exactly works? How can I prove to you that the software we've developed that has a 4.9 out of 5 rating with Trustpilot that verifies customer purchases is doing what I say it does? Well, we put it all out there, and every Tuesday or Wednesday morning, as it was this week, I'll publish a web page that has the buying and selling times as generated by the software in advance. Marco's been watching them. Even though he met with me and I blew his mind, Marco has been watching them. Isn't that right, Marco? I know what you do. I know what all of you do. You say, can this be real? Can it be true? Is it possible? I want to buy, but you know what? Let me watch it one more day, 2 more days. Let me watch it one more week, one more year. One customer watched it for a year. Lars from Sweden. He said, Michael, I've lost so much money. If I believed you on the first week, I'd have made tens of thousands of dollars by now. This is how I prove it. And so the software is able to tell us in the future, using the patterns that I've described to you, what times to watch for buying and selling, not based on my guru abilities, although they are very strong, not based upon intuition or black box algorithms, but rather based upon the behavior patterns that the banks leave behind. And so we have these time maps. I've been doing this for over 10 years, daring people, hey, come follow and see for yourself if what I'm saying is true. Now, some of you have been watching in popular trading forums will review a setup I took this morning. I took 2 trades this morning. But I want you to see what the time map is telling us, what you can have on your own computer. Everywhere you see a white line on the bottom of this chart, we've had it since before the market opened Monday, or Wednesday, forgive me. And these all represent behavior times where banks have been pushing prices higher historically. And so the computer is alerting us, the software, the program, alerting us to the possibility of a repetition of that move in the future. It's happened often enough lately that the program alerts us to the possibility of another move again in the future. Conversely, all these blue lines represent historical selling patterns. And so we're sort of left with this question of, will this information be useful to us or not? And so before we do that, I want to just specify the difference between a signal, which is the raw time data that you just saw with me, and a setup. For example, a setup is a set of rules that we use to apply to the signals. Mechanically, a rules-based signal encompassed with these rules, rather a rules-based setup, tells us when to get in and get out. And on the page with the forecasts, I told you what we would be doing when we got to these times on Thursday. We will enter at the close of the trend signal. The trend is 120 period EMA. Our stop is 1.5 ATR values away. We enter and exit by the close of the next candle, the selling time. So there's a window of time. We get to the next buying pressure signal. On the close of the candle, we enter. Our stop is 1.5 ATR values away. You want it tighter, make it tighter. Want it bigger, make it bigger. We hold the trade until the close of the opposite candle and take advantage of the open window. The trend is still up. We see a buying time. At the close of that candle, our stop is 1.5 ATR values away from the low. We enter and we exit by the close of the next selling pressure signal. This is called a signal with trend. There's a variation of the trade called a crossover. If the candle starts out a buying pressure signal under the moving average and eventually closes over the EMA or crosses over, some people call this an icebreaker candle, like a submarine coming up through the ice. We enter on the close of the candle. Our stop is 1 to 2 ticks below the low of that candle, and we exit by the, that's right, by the opposite time. This is called a crossover trade. So that's variation 1 of the setup signal with trend. The next trade is called a puncture. Think of this like a failure with trend. At 9:30 in this example, we're expecting the market to drive down, to go down below the close of this candle, because the 9:30 behavior pattern has popped up. The program is warning us, hey, this is when banks usually sell. But in this instance, Marco, it goes higher and higher and higher, and the banks are nowhere to be seen. They've abandoned this behavior pattern. They're not here today. They're nowhere to be seen. And so as the trend is rising and there are no sellers, I enter at the puncture of the selling stop line. Think of it like a failure, comma, breakout, or a stop in reverse without the stop. I enter at the puncture of the blue line. My stop goes 1 to 2 ticks below the candle which punctured the stop, and I hold it till the close of the next signal. Can you trail it? I get asked a lot. Why would you get out? Can you just hold it and see if it keeps going? Yes, you can. I don't. For the purpose of this example and the demonstration, I try to keep it very clean and very simple. So let's take, someone asked when I started the webinar, we'll take the 1 minute NQ as our starting point. And we had these times. You'll see the first one in the lower left corner says 9:40. Okay, so if we apply these times, I just want you to see, number one, they never change. I never go back, and signals don't disappear and reappear. That's the cardinal sin of indicators. It's one of the reasons why vendors like me have gotten a bad reputation, because 98% of the time, these vile scoundrels in the industry commit these venial sins. Their signals disappear and reappear and repaint and paint later because they're marketing companies cleverly disguised as trading tools. So I want you to see where it said 9:40 on Wednesday morning. Here's 9:40 on our chart. Where it said 10:05 on Wednesday morning, Marco, 10:05. Where it said 10:20 on the forecasts that I gave out to 18,000 people 2 days ago. It's 10:20. The times that I gave you 2 days ago are here. We've arrived at them. The plane has taken off from the runway. So using those times, how might we have traded this morning? Well, I'll go through it with you here real quick. Below the moving average, it closes above the moving average. Here we enter at the close of the crossover candle, closes above the EMA, our stop is 1 tick below that candle, 2 ticks, exit by 10:05 plus $31. The candle here closes below the EMA, it comes up and hits our stop right above it, we give back 14. 10:20 is below the EMA, Marco, it closes above the EMA, never goes near the stop, hits the target at the close of the 10:34 candle. We come up to the blue line here. It punctures the blue line 1 minute before the 10:43 signal and actually finishes an astounding amount higher, $1.25 on the puncture of this blue line right here. We'll draw a little line, puncture. 1043 is in the direction of the 120 period exponential moving average. Michael, is there anything magical about that moving average? Why do you use it? We use it because we started out with it nearly 15 years ago and we haven't changed anything. Why don't you change things like the settings of your indicators or the moving averages? Because that's what other vendors do. And we want to be above reproach when you're evaluating us. So we've used the 120 EMA. He's like an old friend of mine now. We've known each other for so long. Close of the 1040 signal. 1043, we close 436.75. Bumch, 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 bum ba dum, bumch, 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 bum ba dum, bumch, 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 bum ba dum, bumch, 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 ding. We exit at 1056. It's a $94 move. Now, before you hate me, and a lot of you get angry, you're angry because you don't own this and you feel like I'm being smug right now. Remember, I gave you these times and the trade setup before the market opened today. You had all the information. If you did not use it, you squandered it. It's your fault, not mine. Don't hate the player, hate the game. We have our profit taking here, and then eventually it breaks up. The buying continues. At the close of the 11:12 candle, we evaluate the setup. The moving average is still going up. We enter, we get in, it goes up a little bit, and then we finish exactly where we started by 11:21. Maybe a couple ticks higher. Okay, so now we come into the 11:21 area. The candle punctures that blue line. We are long as it punctures that blue line. Our stop is 1 to 2 ticks below the candle that punctured the blue line. You're making up stuff as you go. No, this is the setup. This is the setup. Bruce, it did great for the pound dollar. I don't know why you trade the pound dollar, but it did fine for the pound dollar. You come here and say that it didn't, and it did. Don't come here if you don't think it did, because it did. I said did a lot. Anyway, there's the puncture. We get to the next signal at 11:36. The close of the candle is here. We enter at the what? The close of the candle. You'll notice that it appears at the bottom of a pullback, almost like somebody was selling into the move. 11:36, they light the fuse. Bumch, 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 bum ba dum, bumch, 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 bum ba dum, bumch, bump, ding. $40. Can everybody see what happens at 11:45? Can everybody see what happens at 11:45? The same thing that happened at 10:56, it sort of happened here, not really, but at 11:45, look, they took profit, just like they did again at 12:31. Just like they did at 10:05. Wait, when did I give you guys these times? 2 days ago. Next signal occurs at 11:55. What direction is the trend? Trend is up, Michael. Correct. We enter at the close of the candle. We exit by the close of the opposite signal at 12:02. Done. Hey, can you sell the top? Sure. You can be a counter trend person. I don't. If there's a 12-step program for traders who trade highs and lows, I would be a member of that 12-step program. Hello, my name is Michael, and I like to pick tops and bottoms. Hi, Michael. I try not to play that game. At 12:02, what does the market do 2 days after I told you, or the program warned us, that the banks would sell at 12:02? It goes down. Dave, it's 12:14, 2 days after we gave 18,000 people the signal. What happened at 12:14? We enter at the what? Close of the candle. We exit at the close of the opposite signal, $35. What happens at 12:31? Ratchets down. They take profit. Do they take profit forever? No. Eventually, they do what? They break out of that range and they go higher, which is why we have the what? The puncture trade. So right here, it goes through the blue line. We have a very tiny stop. The stop is right underneath that puncture candle. Look how high it gets. It gets $23.75. I have a $500 break even rule. So 23.75 times $20 is just short of break even, but we were up $400 in that trade. It comes back, it hits the stop, -2 2/4. 1250 comes along. What are we expecting to have happen at 1250? 2 days after we told people to look for a move up. We're expecting it to go up. What do we do when the moving average is rising? We enter at the close of the candle. We exit at the close of the opposite candle for an $18 win, $19.50 it looks like. And then, Bruce, what happens? Your third, fourth webinar in a row here. What happens at 13:03? Again, 2 days after we told 18,000 people to watch for a selling pressure move. Goes down. What do we do at the close of the candle at the beginning of a trend move at 118? The rule says we enter at the close. Our stop is 1.5 ATR values below the low, and we exit by the close of the next signal, plus 1950. And then it's one bar off from the high, where they do what? They sell. Okay. Now, I want to share something with you. It's an advanced concept. If you're watching from home, pay attention. Here we go. Ready? On the histogram, can everyone see that at one point the lines get really, 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 really close together? Right here. Brian, does that show up when I draw it on the box there? What do you think that could imply about the price action in the NQ during that block of time? Indecision, that's one way to say it. Anybody else? Liquidity build. Chop. Yes. There's hardly any time in between the signals. Whiplash, said Glenn. And so I'm not going to treat it that way. I didn't give you a rule for that. I don't want to rewrite history, but I do want to take note that if we surround these price times here with a box, we can keep track of what took place inside of that zone right there. So I'm going to keep track of the winners and the losers all the way to the afternoon. We're going to call that a stop out right here. We're going to call that a winner right here. We're going to call this a stop out right there. We're going to call this a stop out right here. And then into the afternoon, the trend resumes. Signal with trend, done. Signal with trend, done. Signal with trend, done. Signal with trend, small loss, stop. And then right at the close, enter and exit. There's the loss. If you got in at 413, anyone have huevos large enough for that? Let me know. And so we're left with these values, these signals at the end of the trading session. The most volatile market we could probably apply this to, with one simple set of rules and a presupposition that the markets are rigged. So let's add it up. 31 plus 16 plus 1 plus 94 plus 40 plus 14 plus 35 plus 18 plus 19 plus 6 plus 16 plus 19 plus 5. Now we go the other way. Minus 5, minus 17, minus, I can't see what that number is. We'll make it 15. Minus 15, minus 17, minus 15, minus 2, minus 14 equals 214 NQ hypothetical dollars. Times $20 per contract is $4,280 of institutional shenanigans. If you traded a micro lot, you finished with $428 at the end of the session today. So the times that were published on a publicly released web page on Wednesday morning provided over $4,000 per contract with a simple trend trading signal 2 days later. Any questions about that? We have to ask always, does the tool provide an edge? Does the tool provide an edge? There are gurus who give you these gelatinous, ephemeral, ethereal concepts that can be interpreted 19,000 different ways. Yes, Shafar, you take this moving average, and sometimes it will appear to go up, and then sometimes when it's sort of sideways, we know intuitively to maybe perhaps not do something definitively. What does that mean? It means when the moving average is rising, we enter at the close of the candle, we exit. That's what it means. And so when we're applying this to things like equities, and we look at Tesla, and we see that there's a signal here that we've been watching for now for quite some time, many weeks. There's a signal at March 15th. Just like there was a signal on January 24th, just like there was a signal on December 13th. I can't tell you what it's going to do here, but I'm pretty sure that if I was a betting man, I would be looking for puts right now in Tesla. I'd probably be selling right here at this moving average, which is at $192, $193, if it were me, especially with that resistance level right there. And this blue dot is here because of institutional shenanigans. When we look at markets like crude oil, for example, can we at least agree together, referencing the slide earlier, the difference between the signal and the setup? Can we agree without applying any kind of rules-based system to it that the signals themselves were pretty powerful? If you didn't have any idea what you were doing, you didn't have any understanding of what the market was about to do, right? And we just referenced the times that we were expecting things to happen, would you at least concede that probably 6 or more times out of 10, the thing we were expecting took place? 1045 did not go down, but it sure as shinola went up at 1057. It tried at 1133 for 9 minutes, but no need. Failures happen. 1227, we sure as shinola broke out of that. 109, we pretty much all agree it went down. And then at 133, we can pretty much all agree it went up. It did go down at 209. Little tiny push up here, little tiny push up at 227. So when we look at the raw data, we see that about 60 to 70% of the time now, going on 15 years of demos, the thing we were expecting to see took place. And it's not just one day. We can go back and look at yesterday. And Marco, did it do the same thing yesterday? You have to say yes, or you're lying to yourself. Could we have traded crude yesterday and made money with the times? Enter at the close of the candle, exit at the close of the candle. Enter at the close, exit at the close. Enter, exit. Enter, stop. Puncture, exit. Enter, exit. Puncture, loss. Enter, exit. No puncture. Enter, exit at the bottom of the day. Enter, loss. Enter, loss. Enter, gain. There's a plus $1,000 day in crude. Look at the numbers. It's more than that. 64, 120, 130, 180, 190, 280, 340, 430, minus 60 is 370, 320, 310, 250. So there's over $2,000 of trades using the times with the trend on Wednesday in crude futures. Whew. This morning I took a trade and I did it in front of 6,000 people. If you're a member of one of the E-mini S&P groups that I'm a member of, I published the times yesterday and I told people, hey, there's a signal coming at 9:55. Get ready. I'm going to short it because there's a buying signal coming at 10:20. And at 9:55, I took the short. And then I sent all my friends this. And I said, I'm out. It's 10:20. I'm in from here to here. And then look what happened. Whee! And Marco, it didn't go down, but you see the only place there was a blue candle was right here. People took profit right here. For 15 minutes, they tried. And so for me personally, I took a pullback trade. I got in here, I got out here. I had $800+ on the table. And then Marco, I entered at the crossover. I didn't make up a rule to sound smart like a guru. Does this look familiar? There it is. When the candle closes above the moving average and now puts the time signal in the direction of the trend, we enter at the close of the candle with a stop 1 to 2 ticks below the signal. When I do that, what do? Enter at the close, exit by the next signal, 21 points. I see people bragging on the forums. Got 10 handles today, got 5 handles today. That's 35. Puncture doesn't hit the stop, finishes here, another $3. The stop of the puncture candle is 1 to 2 ticks below the candle that went through the blue stop. This one, you sweat a little bit. Oh, then you finish a little in the loss category. So you enter here, you exit here, and lo and behold, you gave $4 back. This one was kind of brutal, 12.35. You puncture, your stop is here, and it finally hits. You give $7 back, and then at the end of the day, 325 to 405. It's basically a break-even trade. So 15, 35, 38, 40, 31, 25, call it $20 with slippage and commission. On the ES today, that's a $1,000 day. 2,000 in the NASDAQ, 1,000 in CL, 1,000 on the ES. And I'm doing it all in front of everybody. I'm not even hiding it. The next post was this one. Whee! Any questions? You can know the times in advance. You can know the times in advance. We can look at them in markets like the mini Dow. It's going to look exactly like the ES. But as we go back in time, can you see what's happening at the signals? Can you imagine yesterday trading the Dow short and knowing how long? Ron, I use the 120 on every time frame in the webinar. I personally use the 20. As I've gotten older, I like less lag in my serial. Every day it's the same stuff. Every day it's the same stuff. Euro session, US session. Euro session, US session. The same shenanigans, the same manipulations. And so you have to ask yourself, if I can know these times, and this guy, crazy as he sounds, he's not hiding anything, and I can know at 10:18 it's going to go up to 11:30 and be right 6 or 7 times out of 10. Why don't you want to know this? Yes, Ian. If these are the kind of signals that are appearing 2 days after I publish them on the Facebook groups and on the emails and on the web pages, I'm actually flummoxed. Dave has a hard time getting you guys on the phone. You won't even answer the phone calls. You must like losing money. That's the only thing I can think. Our database is filled with masochists. You must like being punished. Every year, it's the same story. Yeah, I just lost $60,000 in a bunch of Tesla puts. Yeah, I just went all in on some options with Goldman Sachs. I wish I'd have heard of you guys last week. I just dropped 150 grand on a Disney play. And then all of a sudden, our software is too expensive. That's a no, hard no. It's a hard no. Can't do it. Got to do my research. Got to do my due diligence. It's absolutely fascinating to me. And so you look at a market like the pound dollar, and it's the same thing. You enter at the close of the candle, you exit by the next signal, 37 pips. You come in here, you enter at the puncture of the white line, you exit by 720, another 25 pips. It comes here now. We'll get in the drawing tools. You enter, it goes down, it comes up, it hits the stop. Ooh, there we go. Stop hit. You enter at 9:30, you exit by the next signal, 12 pips back. You enter at 11:20, you exit by 12:15, you get 38 pips, and then you give some of it back. Net positive on the day, but people argue with me that the stuff doesn't work. And then they go and lose thousands and tens of thousands of dollars. It's fascinating. So the cool part of this is that the signals are waiting for me in the future. They do not change, they do not update, they do not repaint, they do not disappear, they do not reappear. Does it work with TradingView? No. TradingView is not powerful enough to do what I'm showing you. NinjaTrader is the only platform that allows us the ability to plot predictive signals on the right-hand side of the chart. TradingView is fun and it's shiny, but it does not have the power to do what I'm showing you. And for some of you, that will be a deal breaker. I do not want to make $2,000 tomorrow because it means I have to make a phone call. It means I have to learn something new for 10 minutes. So I will continue with my mediocre style and my average day and big losses. That's what I get a lot. So no, it does not work with TradingView. But you will be able to see, if you're up for learning something new and trying something different, the directions and times that your market will go in the future. And I'm not trying to be hostile or an idiot or a jerk or a butthole about it, but I do get the calls. I do hear from you. And I hear the same stories. I wish I'd have done it. I wish I'd have heard about you guys. My neighbor Jill told me about you guys, and she's crushing it over there. If only you were using NinjaTrader 5, then I could do something. Well, how have you been doing with NinjaTrader 5? Not good. Not good, but that's not the point. That's not the point. Okay. It works on crypto, it works on Ethereum, it works on Bitcoin, Dogecoin, anything you can load into NinjaTrader with Coinbase, you can analyze. So we can look for, this is the euro dollar on the 15-minute time frame, but we could just as easily type BTC 0623, the June futures contract for Bitcoin, and lo and behold, when the analysis comes up, darned if it isn't hitting the highs and lows 60% of the time or more. Darned if the banks are too lazy to change the times that they manipulate these markets. It's happening right now in real time in front of us. Bitcoin. Matt, what's the title? Maddie, what's the title of the webinar you came to today? Jim writes, I check in once in a while and I took the exact same trade this morning in the ES and I was done using the 3-minute chart. Matt, when you come to that webinar, then I show that thing. When you come to the TimeWarp webinar, I show the TimeWarp signal. There's a logic to it. It's cool. There are people here who have never seen this tool before and their heads are exploding right now. Their ears are bleeding. And you want me to go one more step? Hey, while your ears are bleeding, let me put this knife into your shoulder and twist it around. Any questions about how this works? You can analyze everything from a weekly bar down to a 5-second bar You can use this on a tick bar, a range bar, a Renko bar, a volume bar. You can analyze any market you have data access to, and you will always see the signals waiting for us on the right-hand side. This is the only solution in the world where this is possible. And the thing of it is this: after everybody sees the results 2 days later, when Marco comes to a couple webinars in a row, here's the number: 5 out of 100 people will actually purchase the software. This is a fascinating number to me. When I first started trading, somebody said only 95% of traders are losing all the time, only 5% are winning. I said, nah, that can't be true. And I review the marketing numbers at the end of the year, and I see how many people came into the website, how many people attended a demonstration, how many people saw this and said, nah. 95% of you, well, it doesn't work with MetaTrader 5, so I can't do it. I think I'd like to go back and talk to everyone who came and put together a consensus, take a poll. What was it that prevented you from actually making more money or being more confident or knowing in advance when to be at the computer instead of sitting there all day staring at your 5,000 lines? Most of you have charts that look like a Las Vegas billboard. You got 5 chat rooms, you got your Discord server running. You got Nigel in the background telling you what he thinks about the next thing. And it's so simple. It's simple because of the premise. The premise is this: Goldman's going to do what Goldman's going to do. And guess what? They do it around the same time most of the time, over and over again. The times change, but the software changes the times too. Each week, there will be a little different. And the 95% of people who come here will continue to lose when they leave. They will continue to make small gains. They will continue to have break-even days. I don't understand. I've been trying for 14 years. Just seems like I make a lot and then I give a lot back, and I sit here in my office and I study 900,000 things, and I've read so many books. One day I'll get started and actually make it happen. Every year it's the same number. And I'm not trying to shame some of you or make you angry or upset. I'm just stating the reality. The way most of you are doing it now is the equivalent of McDonald's. You know it's bad for you. You can see the fat piling onto your handles, and you keep eating it. And the warp is a salad. It's got pieces of filet mignon or trout or salmon. It's good for you. It's going to only do good things. And you go, nah, I want a quarter pounder with cheese. You can know the times that the markets are going to move most likely tomorrow and Monday and Tuesday and Wednesday and Thursday of next week. I have all those times right now, and they don't change. None of them are going to repaint, disappear, reappear. You can move when the banks move. Is it going to work 100% of the time? No. Is it going to provide a statistically relevant edge? Yes. Well, how do we know? How can you be so sure? You don't have to take my word for it. We pay $6,000 a year to Trustpilot as a corporation. They verify customer purchases. We're not allowed to delete. We are unable to. There is no button anywhere that I can use to delete a comment or a review. Only thing I'm allowed to do is reply. That's it. You see here, that's me. And these people are always saying the same thing. In the first few days from first joining Warp, it's going great. These people are kind, helpful, and timely in response. Fantastic. Highly successful. For the first time now, I can replace my job with trading as a primary source of income. Best software experience I've ever had. Honest company. Honestly, you can be successful with these products. Highly recommend. These people are part of my family. This is how I know that it'll work for you. Anyone who can post a review can put it there. And this is what they write. And person after person after person, same thing. There are no excuses. The problem is this: when you wake up tomorrow to trade, Goldman Sachs doesn't care about your highly refined setup or how you've been using ChatGPT to hone in on some things. They don't care about how many videos you've watched. Their algorithms, their traders are finely tuned and honed to capitalize on every psychological disability you have. Every Achilles heel emotionally and financially you are susceptible. They will leverage it. They will catch you in the stop runs. You will sell and the market goes up. You will buy and the market goes down, and there's nothing you can do about it. Their data cable is as thick as your leg, and their orders get there faster. And they spoof now. So your order flow isn't even right. Your volume measurements are off because the orders were never really there. You're playing a game you can't win. And the only way to win the game is to follow the people who cheat. There's an element of faith here. Worldview. If you believe the markets are fair, then this isn't for you. If you believe the people who were invested in SBG Bank knew that they were going to get bailed out, gave themselves bonuses hours before the government took over, and you see that same thing happening. 2008, we need regulations. Trump administration, get rid of the legislations. Years later, we need to bail these guys out again. It's an empirical truth. If you're tired of it, that's fine. Leverage it. Take advantage of it. The game is not fair. Play by their rules. Make money. That's what I can offer you. A chance to play with their rules. Oh, I feel better. Don't you feel better? I feel better. I want you to be successful. If you would like the program, there's a simple way to get it. Marco, today is your day. You can tell Mrs. Marco you did your due diligence. Bruce, today is your day. Let's come on down. We're going to have a come to Jesus moment and get you guys making money. You're going to go to this link that I'm about to paste into the chat box. Come on down the aisle. Come on down. Click on that link. Go to webinar chat box. It says Back to the Future Trading / TachEon -time -warp / At the bottom of this page, yes, it is okay, Doug. It will work. Is a link, a big Willy Wonka orange button. If you click on that button, it will take you to a buy now page. This window will pop up. We have a live trading room. It meets Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday from 8 to 12. We take live trades in that room. A customer helps out. An actual profitable customer runs the room too. If that is a way in which you learn, you can add that to your cart for $150 more. 12 sessions a month, it works out to a little over, what is that, $12, $13 a day, or $4 an hour. Add it to your cart if that's the way you learn, if you want to have that for yourself. If you don't want it, you like to go solo, I understand. You can Clint Eastwood it and go on your own, John Wayne it into the sunset. But now when you get here, the promo code is WARPOFF. 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 No spaces, no capital letters, all one word. America. When you plug that in, it takes $500 off the price. Get yourself something nice. Today I showed you $1,000 in the ES, $1,000 in CL, $2,000 in the NQ. One day. Imagine what can happen tomorrow. I had a customer purchase. He was in a Facebook group. He sent me a screenshot of his P&L. He made the price of the program back in 1 day's worth of trading last week. I have another customer who's qualified for 20 funded accounts with Apex Investing. He's receiving an $84,000 payoff. You met Jacob a few weeks ago, a customer who's qualified for 5, I believe it is, funded accounts, and he earns a living now as a single dad in California. These are not uncommon stories. It's happening more and more because the system works. We know how to teach you, we know how to support you, and we know what to give you as a tool in your hands. This is a lifetime license. You get 2 computer licenses. There are no additional fees or charges. We have a Buddy Holly plan. 2 of us are here. We never travel together. If we both die, our wives know what to do. They have the information for the programmer. Your software is safe. You can depend on us. I'm going to start a GoFundMe to replace my computer desk, though. It's gotten so old that I don't want to get rid of it. I actually think of it like a close friend now. This desk and I. Pardon my grunts and groans. There we go. I love this desk, but the drawer falls off. The keyboard drawer falls off. I should probably fix that. Any questions about the program? I'm sorry it got a little weird back there, but I want you to hear the truth. I've done this in a way that is 100% transparent. I gave you the rules in advance for the setup. I gave you the times and directions in advance. This is working on forex. It's working on futures. It's working on crypto. It's working on equities. Keeps working. 11, 12, 13, 14 years now. 3,500 customers all over the world. A 4.9 out of 5 Trustpilot rating. The most powerful trading platform on earth. An indicator with over 12,000 lines of code whose only purpose in life is to make you wealthier than you were yesterday. That's what I want for you. If you have any questions, Dave, do me a favor. Type your telephone number, Dave, into the Skype box while I got everybody's attention. Dave, if you're listening, just type that in for me. We have a guy here, the greatest guy. He helps customers onboard all the time. I'm going to find his number. Wait, he's typing it in. I want you to contact him, 727-742-2626. If you're watching this on YouTube later, you can call him. Mike, it's David at backtothefuturetrading.com. Dave helps onboard new clients. If you have questions about that, call him anytime. And he's salt of the earth, doesn't have a dishonest bone in his entire body. You're going to love talking to him. Former options trader, loves the customers here and does a great job helping people find ways to get the software. So give him a shout after the webinar, or at least answer the phone if he calls you. And yeah, Marco, let's get going. Let's start up here. Is what's his face still here? Bruce, let's go. Today's your day. Come on down. Let's get you up to the altar here and move forward together. Otherwise, guys, Friday's coming, Monday's coming, Tuesday's coming. These are opportunities. I'm also thinking about limiting the access to the ongoing data, meaning I don't think I'm going to let everybody look at the future times forever. I think I'm going to find a way to give you 3 or 4 shots at it, and then that's it. I found out some customers are using those times and trading, hitting their weekly goal Wednesday and Thursday with the free signals. And I think it's about time we stop that. So you get a couple shots at it, and then you have your decision moment or not. That's in the works too. All right. I feel good. That was cathartic for me. May the wind be at your back. May the sun shine upon your face. May the valleys rise up to meet you. May the mountains lay low before you on your journey. I wish you peace. I wish you joy, prosperity, health, fellowship. We're coming into a very tumultuous time right now. If my studies are correct, we're about to see volatility on par with nothing since World War II, pre-World War II. That's what's on the horizon, I believe personally. And so money is there to be made. The markets will respond in kind. These big $20, $30, $40 ES moves are becoming commonplace now. Precision is required. Timing has to be perfect. Please give us a chance to prove to you what we've proved to all the other customers. Take care, guys. I love you. God bless. Have a great night. And if you have any questions, let Dave know, and I'll be happy to get back to you. Okay, Marco, I hope so. Don't let tomorrow turn into next week, turn into next month. I'd like you to start making money, man. I'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.